Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. It's Sunday, you know what that means. Of course, it means you're here continuing the journey of Ben 10 Omniverse. This is Season 5, Episode 9. Of course, we'll not know the title until I get into the episode. Now, Ben 10 Theorist, who was helping me watch this show, when he sent these two episodes, Episode 9 and 10, and he has them in like a playlist or whatever folders for like Season 5 Omniverse. Episode 9 here says Part 1 at the end of it. And of course, Episode 10, the finale of Season 5, Part 2. So I'm like, okay, we're getting a two-parter closing this up, which I think has happened more times than not in Omniverse, I believe, but we've had this before, obviously, with other shows on the channel and everything, so I'm excited. And of course, recently we had the Generator Rex Ben 10 crossover, which was freaking awesome, and I was sitting there in that first part 1 of that crossover going, Part 1, I wonder what this two-parter is for Generator Rex, and it was amazing seeing those two characters together. So freaking cool seeing Ben 10 and, of course, Generator Rex crossing over. But it was just Ben. Unfortunately, it wasn't anybody else, but still, from Ben's side over to Generator Rex's world, regardless. Omniverse has been fantastic this season. Like, sure, there's been episodes that have been better than others in this season, but I've really enjoyed the horror kind of aspect, and especially we got a freaking vampire in the last episode. And finally, after all this time, they finally brought on a vampire to basically add more to the monsters that they introduced all the way back in Classic. And now we finally, after all this time, their own version of a vampire. So, where do we go from here? I have no idea, because we wrapped up the arc or whatever on that Transylvania kind of esque planet with all the monsters and everything. So I don't know where we go from here, but we are starting with part 1 of whatever this is. So without further ado, let's get into now. Let's check out. Hope this episode delivers, and I'm pretty sure it will. Let's go.
Somebody help me!
Oh.
Like being a superhero. The game!
Wait, what? What the what? I'm still just confused. Ooh. Ben 10. Okay, some soccer. Kevin!
Sorry, dude.
But wait.
No hard feelings?
Wait, he doesn't know
Hey,
him?
my watch!
Let me give you a hand with that.
Oh, his arm. Whoa.
I don't know why you're always bad-mouthing Bellwood. It's a great little town. I've been here my entire life.
That's just it. Everybody stays in Bellwood their entire life.
But maybe what you're looking for will find you somehow.
This is a blast from the past.
Gwen!
The start of the most boring road trip of all time. Don't remind me.
Driving around with our grandpa on his junky old motorhome.
Oh my god.
Worst summer
But
ever.
We don't have to talk. It's not like we're close or anything.
wow.
Hey,
This is
JC.
crazy.
Yeah,
Someone's following him.
I'm talking to myself. No, if I wasn't seeing it with my own eyes.
What?
It really is you. Like looking into a mirror, right?
That is... What the hell?
You're me. I have no idea what I'm thinking. You can do anything I can do.
Well, I don't know.
Except this. I've come a long way to find you, Ben Tennyson.
So we have a Ben who doesn't have the watch and this other Ben. Oh, the grocery store. So that other Ben must be evil or something?
Hello, Ben.
Wait, oh my god, what, albedo? They both have watches. So we have a bunch of different Bens and shit chasing this Ben who doesn't have a watch. Gigantic, oh my god. That was close.
What? Saving you?
Okay, another
got
Ben.
one of those weird watches.
I'll take you to someone who can.
Can you explain all this?
Hello, Ben Tennyson. Amazing. A universe without an Omnitrix. It boggles the
At all?
mind.
Dude.
There are many dimensions, many universes,
I
many
mean, we're seeing that
Earths,
right now.
and thus many Ben Tennysons. Think of time and space as this tree.
Okay.
Down here is when you were 10 years old. These branches represent alternate timelines. Someone or something is working its way through the branches, kidnapping all the different Bens. There is something unusual about you. Or
Yeah.
more specifically, something usual Every Ben Tennyson throughout space and time
Has one?
has had his fate intertwined with that of the Omnitrix.
If someone's traveling in time to kidnap Ben's, it has
Yeah.
to be Eon.
His tracks are
Eon,
covered
oh
too well.
shit.
If he
I'll protect him like he was my own... me.
Own me.
Levity and humor. Excellent.
The deal with these Omnitrix watches that can turn you into super-powered monsters.
Okay, we're stopping right now. Holy crap. Like, the opening was just like, oh, it's Ben, he's saving a cat. Wait, no Omnitrix. And it just keeps going. There's Kevin, there's Gwen. Ben and Gwen don't really, like, know each other that well. They don't talk. And now, I'm assuming this is our Ben from our timeline. I'm assuming. We saw a young Albedo. We saw another, like, zombie-looking Ben. And then we saw another Ben that was first attacking him as a ghost freak. What the fuck? And so, there's clearly, we're assuming Eon, and then there's other stuff involved. Okay, this is fucking insane. This is so crazy. Okay, let's continue. Okay.
Aliens. But every Ben Tennyson in every dimension has an Omnitrix. Except
Why don't
me.
you?
Get down!
Eon, confirmed. No.
You're easy to finish off.
He's able to run
I
away.
knew it
It's
had
not
to
that
be you,
easy.
Eon.
Wild Mud. Good choice. Interesting choice. Uh-oh.
Fear me, Ben Tennyson.
What the fuck?
For over a decade, that whelp has prevented me from arming a legion of Omnitrix-clad minions.
Don't lump me in with them.
Oh.
You're and me also?
Yes, yeah, that's
Eon
sorry.
has merely been helping me collect Ben Tennyson's. Why settle for the Omnitrix when I could possess the watch and its wearer?
I don't have an Omnitrix. See?
Yeah.
Yours is the only timeline without an Omnitrix, which makes it an unpredictable wild card.
So many evil me's.
So many evil
is
Bens.
relative.
You, however, do not. Ben,
That is an insane shot.
Hormungous!
Oh, shit.
It's hero time.
It's hero time. Oh. Gwen. What the fuck? Oh, I can't handle this. I cannot handle this. This is fucking insane. Okay, interesting choice. Run. That is an interesting design. Oh, the cat. Dude, I love the fact there's a Gwen with an Omnitrix. All these Bens fighting each other, and a Gwen in the mix too, yeah.
You know how weird it feels being rescued by aliens?
Well,
You know
yeah.
how weird it feels rescuing myself? It's just a watch, Ben. Gadgets don't make the hero.
Oh, I like that. There's chaos out there. And he's just standing. What is that?
I should be in on every detail of your plans.
The detonation won't even touch this Ben Tennyson or his timeline.
Which one?
All of them.
It's gonna destroy all dimensions, all timelines except this one?
What happens to me?
You die too.
For your help
Thank you for your
beyond
service.
Your assistant.
Wait, is it actually happening? And I just remember this is part 1. This is basically like Crisis on Infinite Earths when all the Earths are being destroyed. Damn.
Atomic X!
Atomic X? This is oh my god.
Paradox.
He got the watch.
Just a gadget! Be the hero!
Where did Paradox go?
You are the only Ben left.
Holy shit.
No threat to me.
There you are.
Wait, what was he doing?
From me.
Only now there is no longer any tree. Vilgax chopped it down.
He did it. So, what do we do now?
The only thing
Yeah.
we can do, go back to where it all began.
Okay, so before we talk about this episode, let's look at the amount of Bens that we saw in this episode, because holy freaking crap, there were so many. So Your Lowenthal voiced Ben, Bad Ben, Mad Ben, Ben Zorro, and Nega Ben. Is Bad Ben the one with the black hair, or was that Mad Ben? Maybe it's bad. I don't know. Okay. We had Gwen, which was okay. I'll save my thoughts because oh my god, we had to Gwen with an Omnitrix. Ben 23, 11-year-old albedo Ben. Okay. And Steve Blum, of course, Ghost Freaking Vilgax freaking fantastic. I love that. Let's see. There was others. Frankenstrike, Eon, Ben 10,000, and then there's additional voices. So maybe some of the other Bens were not like credited properly because there's additional voices, Tara Strong and everything. Because of course she voiced like the albedo, and I think she might have like albedo Ben or whatever. So okay. Let's pull this off here. Let's get back to our regular scheduled here review portion here. This was beyond insane. I cannot remember the last time that I could not comprehend what I'm watching from the Ben 10 franchise. I think maybe the last time was probably during it was Ultimate Alien, I believe, when we actually saw that Ben and young Ben, Tara Strong, of course, from Classic, interacting in that whole episode, which was beyond insane. I think that may have been the last time I truly could not believe what I'm seeing right now. The return of Classic Ben, 10-year-old Ben. And now here we are with expanding it so much more, where we have Vilgax working with a version of Ben who is Eon, grabbing a bunch of basically villain Bens throughout the multiverse, and basically getting them all kind of trained and basically molded into what he wanted. And his ultimate plan, which he actually ended up doing, which is basically their version of Crisis on Infinite Earths, where Vilgax set off a certain time bomb, and he called it something very specific, that destroys all Ben Tennyson's, but basically destroys all other timelines besides the one he's currently in, which is the world where a Ben Tennyson has never interacted and nothing at all with aliens or anything, or the Omnitrix. That's the biggest thing. There was, and they talk about it about, I won't say halfway through the episode, because halfway we're already getting into all the craziness, but it's when Ben is talking with Gwen. There's some sort of like discussion with her family or her parents and his parents about a family reunion, and there was a discussion about the campsite they went to at the very beginning, the very first episode ever of Ben 10 Classic, where the Omnitrix lands in the forest and everything, and Ben gets the Omnitrix, and boom, things happen. The show happens, right? Well, on that trip, the Omnitrix never landed. So I'm wondering if in this universe, because there's no Omnitrix, was Max a plumber? Because he had like a prosthetic arm. Was he ever a plumber? Was Xylene ever a thing? Because Xylene was the one who was sending the Omnitrix anyways to Max, and of course it did not get to Max, it got to Ben instead. At least in our universe we've been following since the beginning of this timeline and everything, so that means none of that occurred as far as we know. Because we never got to see that like Vilgax interact with Max, so like we don't know for sure if he was ever a plumber or not. We know, so my assumption is no. Maybe none of that occurred. Like nothing, any alien thing or any sort of nothing ever occurred. Because Gwen is also going to college, but she has no powers. So I'm assuming on this planet, on this, I guess, timeline planet, whatever you want to call it, this universe, just nothing really ever occurred to lead to the point of an Omnitrix. So maybe there is an Omnitrix out there somewhere, but maybe it was never sent out. Maybe it was never actually left Azimuth's possession. I don't know. The presumption is there is no such thing at all. So there is no Azimuth. So that means no Azimuth. That means no Omnitrix. But the other things, I guess, would have to occur in order for Max to not become a plumber. And then I'm assuming aliens probably do exist, but it's probably very secretive. So it's like it never really crossed the paths of the Tennysons and all that. We have all these Bens. These evil Bens. These good Bens. The main thing, besides the fact there was a lot of like new like Bens we're seeing, especially a lot of evil villain-looking Bens, there was a Gwen who has an Omnitrix. And oh my god, I love it so much. Because, first of all, I love Gwen as a character. Love her to death. Second of all, when we got that kind of what-if episode where she got an Omnitrix, freaking fantastic. And now, within this sequence of just insane fighting and so much stuff happening, so many different aliens, and the color variations, because they're being transformed into them, and even to some of the design differences, because like that one Ben who turned into like a reddish kind of spiked version of Wrath Love the redesign of it. Love it. And they just did some color scheme changes for a lot of the aliens, but still really cool to see. It was just so much happening. It was so hard to follow, but at the same time, I think that was the point. I think you're supposed to see a lot of these Bens, especially like Ben 10,000 and all this stuff, and Ben 23 and all these evil Bens and all this stuff in the Gwen. All of this in the mix, and you're supposed to feel overwhelmed, because I think we're supposed to feel how the Ben who has never had an Omnitrix, who we've been following since the beginning of this episode, we're supposed to feel like him in terms of like so much is happening, and I just need to focus on one thing of running away. Like so much happening so much is happening around him, he can't focus on any of it. And I think that was the point, and why they were just doing so much stuff with like so many different aliens and stuff, so many different like action sequences in that third act, that it was supposed to be chaotic and just overwhelming. And I really appreciate it. Sure, they could have focused it up more and made it more simpler to follow, but then again, you had like, what, 6, 7 different evil Bens, and you had a couple different Bens that freaking Paradox pulled through and everything, including that Gwen, and all hell is breaking loose. I think that's the point, and oh my god, it delivered. And now, all of the other Bens, and even Gwen too, because I'm assuming, because it said specifically destroying all Bens, and in the case with Gwen, what Earth she ever came from, Ben never got the watch. Maybe Ben doesn't even exist, but I guess if it's tied to it, like an Omnitrix in that universe, it destroyed it as well. So I'm guessing, I think that maybe Vilgax might have said a line about it's going to destroy all universes that are not here. So basically, even though Gwen and presumably somewhere else in the multiverse, other people, or maybe even Max has an Omnitrix, maybe, I don't know, Kevin has an Omnitrix, because we saw Kevin for a brief shot, so maybe there's a timeline somewhere where Kevin somehow was on that trip as well, or some sort of something, and he gets an Omnitrix instead. But like every other universe, every other timeline except this one is destroyed. Christ on Infinite Earths just wiped out. And they show deaths. Like, sure, they're basically being vaporized away, but they're all dying. They're all dead. Pretty dark for this show, but I love it. Love it. And now the Ben who has had no training, doesn't know what a fucking Omnitrix was until just now, he has the Omnitrix. And they never right out said it, but my presumption is the Ben that we were watching that was helping the Ben that's on this universe with no Omnitrix, the Ben who was helping him, I'm assuming that's our Ben. I don't think it was outright said, but I think the connection between him and Paradox make it very obvious this is clearly the Ben we've been following this entire time within the continuity of these shows. But they don't outright say it, but my guess is that's the case. And of course, him giving him the Omnitrix, himself, the one who's never had one, I think was poetic, in a sense. Poetic. This delivered. It delivered. This was freaking fantastic. I couldn't get enough of this. And honestly, I can't stop thinking about all the really cool things that happened, especially in the third act, and all the different, like, just versions of Ben and the Gwen. My god. Crushed it. So where do we go from here? Like, and I said in the reaction, I just now remember, this is only part 1. Holy crap, this is only part 1 of this insane shenanigans. So now, what's going to happen in part 2? I'm guessing we're going to have to reverse whatever Vilgax just did. And also, I thought it was smart, too, that the Omnitrix-less Ben, who now has it, he was hiding it the whole time. He was like, well, I'm going to run away from you, but I'm going to try to keep hiding it. Because he didn't want to spoil the reveal that, oh, I did get an Omnitrix, by the way. Where did Paradox go exactly when all the timelines and all the Bens were getting erased? Because, of course, our Ben shows up. Where'd he go? Where's Paradox? I don't know. He was right here. Like, where did he go? Oh, there you are. Pulls him through a portal. Where did he go? Where did Paradox go? Who knows? Yeah, this was fucking amazing. Yeah, I can't stop gushing about it. This was so freaking fantastic. I can't believe that this episode exists. And there's a part 2 coming, so like whatever the hell that's going to be. But man, this was freaking awesome. They delivered on a fantastic, epic, scaled-filled episode. And they had a lot of cool little moments of like dialogue, and then here's a Kevin, and here's a Gwen who has no powers, and then boom, here's all these and I love the way they actually reveal, like, it's kind of hard because discussing it, it's like, I want to say the camera work, it's more so the actual artist who were basically choreographing the shots in a sense in terms of the actual animation itself, and the way when we had Eon and Vilgax, like when Vilgax revealed himself, holy shit, that was amazing. But when he's talking to the Omnitrix-less Ben, and the way that the camera the way the images are moving, and then you're seeing these other bins that we've not seen before. Like the first, like they're coming out, we've seen these ones before, they're like revealing themselves, but then you have one that's sitting up on like a staircase above Ben. He turns around, there's another Ben over here with some spiky hair and the spikes or whatever, and then you have the albedo Ben show up, and then I think there was another Ben maybe revealed, maybe not. But then, of course, Paradox shows up. It's hero time. And here comes Ben 10,000. Here comes Ben 23. And, of course, here comes Gwen. And they didn't say exactly, because I didn't see anything about saying Gwen. I guess it's just Gwen. Like, there was no actual name for her. But I'm just assuming it's just Gwen. Like, no, like, specific, like, how to show the difference. And I also noticed, too, that Gwen was a young Gwen. Because I think what they were trying to explain, and it was explained earlier when Paradox tried to explain to the Omnitrix Les Ben, and I think that's what I'm going to call him, even though he has one now. But when he's explaining it to him, here's a tree, here's the base where you all were at 10 years old, and then here's all the branches and the offshoots of the timeline that basically occurred, and how there's so many different things, and here's when you're 30, and here's when you did. So it just keeps on going, and as he gets older, the more branches of timelines occur, and it makes sense because every single time a Ben or whoever gets the Omnitrix does something a little bit different, there's another stray in the timeline, because maybe the other Ben or whatever like chooses another path, and then it creates another timeline, and then things unfold from there. Just the insanity of the multiverse. But it was said that not all universes are on the same time. So when you have a Ben 10,000 who shows up, fully grown Ben, and he turns into freaking forearms, and he turns into Atomic X, by the way. I almost forgot that. What the fuck? And he tried to stop and he couldn't do it. That was insane. Atomic X? What? Anyways, so, and then you see Ben 23, who's a little bit older, and then you have a Gwen who basically is from the classic era age, we're assuming it looked like. So, interesting how you were seeing different age levels of the different Bens and Gwen in this sense to be a part of the fight. And the same thing was happening, of course, on the villain side as well, because you had some other Bens that looked obviously a little bit older, maybe just, I don't know. It was just insane. Of course, you have Eon too in the mix. I love how Vilgax betrayed Eon. Like, he's like, wait, I'm your partner. You should never, because Vilgax ultimately hates Ben. So no matter, even though you're Eon and you are a version of Ben, but you hate all of the Ben Tennysons and you're an evil Ben. And of course he sees all these other evil Bens. Vilgax didn't really care. He got what he wanted, so he got rid of all of them. He freaking won. So that means that I'm assuming that all the evil Bens, like whatever they do to reverse this situation, they're not going to side with Vilgax after they come back. I don't know. Maybe we won't see them again. But my God, I can't wait for part 2. I don't want to wait, but I'm going to make myself wait to watch part 2 because I don't want to. Because I could easily just jump and start watching right now, but I got other stuff I got to do. So I'm going to let this sit because I really think I should sit and appreciate it more and not just rush to finish off the part 2 and wrap up the season, because it's of course episode 10, the finale, part 2. I'm gonna give myself some time and actually wait and not watch it. So yeah, this was fucking awesome. I really loved it. I hope you guys enjoy the reaction. I was losing my mind. I'm gonna try my best to get this thing edited. We'll see what happens, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will talk to you guys soon. Can't wait for next week for part 2. Peace out, guys.